This is a presentation of National Streaming Sports. Over 20 podcasters, 70 weekly shows, and a 3.4-star rating on Roku TV. Hey, Roger, leave my effing game alone. You know, I fell in love with football back in 1970. I played football for 10 years. Both ways. I went to football camp twice during those 10 years. I learned from some of the best college coaches across the country. From UCLA, USC, Notre Dame, Syracuse, and some pro football legends. I learned a technique to tackle from the great middle linebacker of the Baltimore Colts at the time, Mike Curtis. I learned how to throw the football and the drills to use to throw the football from the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, Norm Snead. I played a lot of sports when I was growing up. Football I fell in love with. There's something about that game. The butterflies you got before the game. The adrenaline rush from that first hit. You know, it was a complete team effort. 11 guys going at it at once. I mean, it's like warring tribes, right, on a field of battle, taking and giving away turf. There's no game in the world like it. Playing quarterback for 8 of those 10 years, I had to know everything and every job of every player on the team, from the formation to the motion to the fakes to the pitches to the options we ran. I even had to know the lineman's block that was away from the football. What kind of blocking scheme did he have? And on defense, 6 of those 10 years, I played a strong safety. I was a captain. I called formations. Cover 2, cover 4. What kind of blitz we were doing. Rolled the coverage towards the best wide receiver. So, I mean, the actual schematics of football was unbelievable, along with the hitting. I love to hit. I even like to get hit. That's how crazy I was. You know, during the 70s, you know, we had the Steelers and the Raiders and the Redskins and the Dolphins, a heavy AFC, and it was great football. And I went away for a little bit. I joined the service, came back out 6 years later. I became a coach. Different position, different outlook on the game. You know, you got more into the strategy of the game. What worked, what didn't work. Taking players and putting them in the correct positions for the team. Developing an offense, developing a defense. Sort of like a violent chess game. And I wasn't a foot soldier no more. I was putting this all together, and I became a coach, and then I became a head coach, and then I became a head coach of a town program, 4 teams, 25 coaches. And eventually we got there. In a few years, we were competitive. The following year, we were in the championship. The following couple of years after that, we were championship winners. And you've got to love the game to be part of this. And our current commissioner really never did anything in football. He played high school. He never played college, never coached, never was part of a professional football team organization. I mean, he was there briefly with the Jets. I think it was in 1983 as an intern. But he was never part of the team. He was never part of building a team or drafting a team. He wasn't part of the scouting department like other former commissioners were. He wasn't a GM like other commissioners were. Roger Goodell is just a business guy. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He went to Jefferson College, Pennsylvania, with a degree in economics. He was sort of Paul Tagliabue, the commissioner then. It's kind of his wonder boy. He was appointed to a lot of different positions in the big NFL machine. He was appointed to president of the AFC, Lamar Hunt. Filled variety of football business operations, including NFL executive, VP, and chief operating officer in 2001. He was in charge of officiating, which explains a lot of things today. He supervised business units, media properties, marketing, sales, stadium development, and strategic planning. That's a lot of things that has nothing to do with the game of football. Never scouted college players, never drafted, although, on the NFL draft, it looks like he knows he's directly involved, right? He announces the players, they come out, they give him a hug. But man, can he market that draft, can he? He knows where the cameras are. He knows how to play the stories, knows how to sell that draft in the next city. So that's spectacular. So that spectacular he puts on, that big show that thousands of people go to, hundreds of thousands, millions of people watch. He's all about the money, all about that money. But there comes a point where money, how much do you make? How much does the NFL need? Makes deals with these streaming companies, Peacock, Prime. Deals with other countries to host football games. Again, nothing to do with the game of football. Can publicize it, can market it. But what is he starting to market now? What kind of football are we seeing now? It's nothing new that football was played overseas in the past. It was just exhibition games, not regular season games. Hey, fans, I don't care if you're the home field advantage that you're not having it in your stadium. We're going to put it in Brazil. We're going to put it in Ireland. We're going to put it in England. So what? You're a fan for the last 20 years. That's where their home game is now. The fans always get screwed. We saw what happened with NFL Ticket, right? They were so upset they filed a lawsuit against the NFL because people couldn't watch their own teams. Businesses couldn't show the local team. Now, I love football. I love the game. But if I have a chance to see my team, that's what I want to watch. If I don't watch my team, I watch a game. as long as it's a good one. We're getting closer and closer to arena football. If they keep taking away preseason games, and people drive me nuts with this, it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing to Roger Goodell. He can't market preseason football games, can you? No big streaming company wants to negotiate for that, do they? You can't bet on them. I mean, look at all the gambling sponsors we have now. How can you gamble on a preseason football? You don't even know who's playing. They'll give you odds if you want to bet it. It's up to you. I mean, if you want to take your money and put it on Jerome Swanson, third string quarterback, to win the game for you. Nobody knows these people. So there's not a lot of heavy betting during preseason. But it's invaluable to coaches. They've got to get ready. They've got to pick their team. They've got to get players ready. They got to get a roster built. They got to put in a strategy. Under game conditions. Don't give me this scrimmage. Scrimmage is nothing. There's still a red shirt on that quarterback. They're not going to show everything. And in preseason, you may say, well, they're not showing anything that way either. It's different as a game situation. Penalties are called. Quarterbacks are hit. Wide receivers are hit. They talk about player safety, but they're going to add another regular season game. I bet by 5 years from now, we have 20 regular season games. And without preseason, folks, some of your favorite players, some of your Super Bowl champion players, some of Hall of Famers might never got into the NFL. Victor Cruz for the New York Giants, it took the fourth preseason game for him to play. I can still hear Jim Ryan. Who is that number 3 that was tearing up the Jets defense? A premier wide receiver for the Giants in the Super Bowl. James Harrison. One of the best Pittsburgh Steelers linebackers. Defensive Player of the Year. 2-time Super Bowl champion. Might never have played in the NFL if it wasn't for preseason games. Oh, and there's Hall of Famers too, folks. You can Google it. I know you've all heard of Kurt Warner. This part of coaching is invaluable. These players are trying to break into the NFL where only 3% of college football players get in. They want to make a living too. Stars may drive the ratings. The foot soldiers win the game, folks. That's who wins your football games. Of course, we know Goodell represents the owners. And boy, what a job. He's created more revenue coming into the owners than ever in the history of football. The owners don't have to worry about the attendance like they used to. That's not where their money's made now. Does it really matter if they win a Super Bowl, if they build a great team or not? It's still going to make their money. And look at what we're getting our first 4 games in the NFL. Crap football. That's what we're getting. It's part of the preseason now. I'll tell you what, the first 4 games may decide whether a team gets in the playoffs or not. When you think about trying to get 11 players on the same page on 3 different squads, penalty free, all doing their job correctly, good luck. Good luck. Under the pressure. Why do you think rookie quarterbacks fail so much? It's not just because they go to bad teams. The expectations are here. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, all these guys, the expectations are this high. We'll let you play a series, see how you do in the first few games. Let's not forget the game. Rules, and we're going to change we're going to change. We're going to make it so that the defense can't play. They can't play anymore. We're going to make a rule for every penalty we can so the offense can move the ball on the field. That's what we're going to do. I don't know if the ratings are that high in arena football. I don't think they are. I don't think they even show them on any major sports network. I know we've talked about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Last year, that was one of the biggest dramas there was. NFL loved it. NFL loved it. They loved it so much that one of the all-time greatest announcers in football made the comment, I'd rather see less of the person up there in the stands and more of the game on the field. He says that. They suspend him for the playoffs. Why? Because we got to market it. We're going to market it to the women now. I've never seen the numbers. I don't know I don't know if the women's views increased or not in football. I know they increased for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know Travis Kelce's jersey went through the roof. But I've never seen the total numbers of the NFL and women watching the NFL, how much higher it grew. That's not out there. I looked. It blows my mind. I don't know where our minds are as fans. They want player safety. So what they're going to do, this is what they're going to do. Okay, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. They're not going to let anybody hit during training camp. Now, this is partly the NFLPA's problem, too, and their fault, too. We're not going to let them hit so they don't get hurt during training camp. But, boy, did them injuries go up last year in regular season, didn't they? If you talk to any former NFL player, you have to get football ready. You can lift all the weights you want. You can squat 800 pounds. You can bench 400 pounds. Take a hit by a guy, 240 running at full speed. Can you do that? Or a 300-pounder holding onto your leg and twisting to bring you down in a tackle. Can you do that? Offensive linemen getting hurt. Never before. Pulling ACLs. Never. You go back and watch those games. That never happened. And if it did, they were slight. And they played through it. It's a violent game. That's what it is. We're gonna not make you hit in football, but we're gonna schedule football every day, right? We're gonna have football Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, Black Friday. We're gonna have football on Black Friday. We're gonna put you on Christmas. We're gonna put you on Thanksgiving. Player safety. There you go. You have 20 games. You know, fans, you disappoint me too. You really do. Yeah, I'm very happy. And listen, I run a sports network. I'm happy to sit there and watch my team the whole game. I can check the highlights at halftime, check them at postgame. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to watch my team play. Win, lose, draw. I don't care. They could stink. I'm watching them. Now, I don't gamble. I don't play fantasy football. I don't play fantasy football because I don't care about anybody else on another team. I care about my team. I'm not a fan of players. I'm a fan of my team. And I know fantasy football drives you in that operation. I hear him say it all the time. Well, I got to, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, but I got Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. So as long as Dallas beats them and Jalen Hurts has a good game, I'm happy. What the hell does that mean? You want Jalen Hurts to have a good game against you? That's what you want as a fan. I don't need the red zone. I don't need to see every touchdown at every second of every game. What does that do for me? It does nothing. I don't need that in my life. Now, if you get it and you like it, that's great. That's great. But are you going to watch every minute of your game? You're not, because you're going to be watching red zone. You're going to be watching a different network. You saw what happened with Peacock last year. I'll tell you, them prime games were rough, boy. It was hard to get them on and play for me. Constant buffering, constant everything. I'd hate to work for Fox or CBS or NBC. And they're treated like the stepchildren. One time they ruled the school, right? They were the ones. And ABC is owned by ESPN, which is owned by Disney now. Disney, of course, has its own streaming channel. Guys, I don't know. And please, fans, stop crying about you have to purchase preseason tickets with your regular season tickets. I mean, to be a season ticket holder, you have to buy preseason. Don't buy it. Just don't buy it. When you go out and order a steak dinner, a salad comes with it. You might get 3 sides. Don't eat your salad. Don't eat 2 of the sides. Guess what? The price is still the same. That's how it works. Order the steak separately. Order your ticket separately. There are some fans, believe it or not, that would love to go see that preseason game. They can't afford to get a season ticket, or they have to wait in line, right? There's no openings. Sell your preseason tickets if you don't want them. Give them away to somebody, a fellow fan. Remember? We all root for the same team as fandom, right? Boy, it's changed. I guess as we go forward here in the NFL, it's either going to change for the worse or it's going to stay the same. Best outcome. I mean, fans are complaining already. It's flag football. It's getting closer to flag football. There's going to be a fork in the road. Rome toppled. Great things have come to an end. Have you seen the new kickoff? Have you seen that? Really? Instead of going back to the old kickoff with the walls and the wall busters, and you can't get the violence out of football. That's why we all watch. Let's be honest, right? A beautiful pass is nice. Hey, nice touchdown. One-handed catch going up. That's great. Quarterback with that throw to the side behind his back to the running back and does this little snow globe thing. That's all cute. We watch Patrick Mahomes, not just for him to make those throws, but if you're an opposing fan, we watch him to get slammed on the ground. That's what football is. You can't change the violence because then you change the game. Once you change the game, I don't know. Listen, I love football. I always will love football. But I'd rather have a memory of something great than watching something